way to pick up a couple of extra bucks. Kickboxing. I mean, it's really street fighting with a glorified name. I winced more than once taking in one of Mike Winkeljohn's workouts. Muhammad Ali always said he got into boxing after somebody stole his bike. For Mike Winkeljohn, it was a whooping he took at the hands of a smaller foe that pushed him into this.
I'd gotten in a fight with some little guy, and some little guy just tore me up, and I thought I was a pretty tough guy. And I got into karate, and I saw these kickboxers working out one day, and I thought, wow, that was great. I wish I could be like them.
Today, he is one of the sport's premier tough guys. But the International Karate Association's #1 middleweight contender success didn't come overnight.
A lot of years, I think, experience, getting in the ring a lot, the fights, the real-life situation. You can only practice in the air, you move so long. You have to sit down and fight.
In a sport where anything goes, Winkeljohn says he's got one leg up on the competition because of his superior stamina. Just flat-out out-trains his foes. Once the bell rings, it's non-stop bedlam.
It's action-packed. I usually, once the bell rings, I go until the bell ends. And that helps because I'm trying to run the guy out of gas.
He fights for the ISKA World Middleweight title this weekend, a dream that's so far been out of reach, and time may be running out.
I'm 29 years old. I can't do it too much longer. I just want to do it now. So I want to bring in somebody that's really good and see if I can beat him. And my wife hates my guts some days because I'm always trying to do something new. She's always worried about me getting hurt. I'm thinking in the future I want to climb Mount Everest, do something different. I'm going to keep going for different goals.
Paul Davis, News 4, Albuquerque.
Duke City this weekend. Paul Davis joins us live now from the practice complex, and I'm not so sure he wants to talk X's and O's. Paulie?
No, I don't, Jane. You know, I've heard of supportive parents, but this next story is kind of ridiculous. Actually, I'm kidding. I have a lot of admiration for one mother who is better than the mailman. Come rain, sleet, or snow, she supports her Lobo.
Then when they come to the right side of the field, now I move over there.
She's as much a part of Lobo practice as the tackling dummies and goalpost. Charlotte Jones, mother of running back Tahi Jones, on full disability, so she's got all the time in the world for raising a son and daughter.
I come out here all the time because I enjoy it. It gets me out of the house.
Tahi's out of Albuquerque High, been playing football since he was 8. You think Mom has shown this much interest all along?
Yes, dear. I was at there every practice, every game, everything. I was even team mother one year.
I gotta be honest, all those years ago when I played this game, if my mom had showed up for a practice, I'd have been embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed about anything, and she had me, you know. I always got to respect that about her. Everybody calls her mom, and, you know, that's just my mom. I love her.
I would be like you, Paul. I would probably be a little nervous if my mom and dad would have showed up at practice every day, but she's close to all our players and very close to Tahi, and I think it's very well accepted here. In fact, if she's not there, some of the players kind of start wondering where she is going to be.
We started adding up all the practices Charlotte's watched over 11 years, then gave up after hearing she's also stretched the tradition through basketball, baseball, and track seasons. This is one devoted parent.
I already told my son that if he leaves, we're packing up and going with him. I'm not going to be alone.
I need to mention that even though she loves to see her kids play, if their grades aren't up to snuff, they don't suit up. Tom and Jane, back to you.
Okay, good for her. She's a real example.
I like her.
That's neat.
The winds of change.
They're getting ready for a homecoming weekend at Highlands, but it's going to be tough trying to top the fireworks fans got on the gridiron 5 days ago. Forget that the Cowboys scoreboard is worn and weathered. It got the job done last weekend, got a real workout when Fort Lewis and the Highlands just lit it up. How's 125 points grab you? That's one of just 16 records broken when the Cowboys dumped the Raiders 70-55.
No, never had anything like that ever before. It really was an experience, an emotional experience. Thank God we had the 70.
Running back Thelber Withers went nuts. His 6 touchdowns tied a school record. He set 4 more outright, including longest run from scrimmage, 99 yards on this play, 333 on the afternoon. No wonder Sports Illustrated tabbed him their Small College Player of the Week.
I like to get a little sweat going, a little tired. And I feel like I'll run even better.
Son, you got more than a sweat going, Sadie.
Yeah, I was getting there, I feel like I was working pretty hard.
And if he were up for president, his running mate would naturally be backfield partner Derek Ray. Good for 181 yards on just 8 carries. The Footloose and Fancy Free duo established a national Division II record for combined yardage, 514.
I think we feed off each other, actually. He gets a touchdown, that's an incentive for me to get a touchdown and vice versa.
The Cowboys are 4-2-1, aren't eligible for postseason play in their conference until next season. For now, they're just trying to give folks something to talk about. Well, you surprised we're here today? I guess you had no idea.
No. Yeah.
St. Pius's Mandy Donaldson is crazy and weird. That from her teammates in a moment. But first, the serious stuff. The senior is one of the most feared hitters in all of AAA. 19 kills in 2 games last week. A big reason why the Sartans are ranked number 1, unbeaten this year.
She's our most hilarious player. She makes us laugh every day on the court.
That from Mandy's best friend. Other teammates took off the kid gloves.
There's not a day when she doesn't fall. I mean, she can be walking down the hall and fall.
I have 2 left feet. I always trip.
When she goes up to hit, she misses the ball sometimes. When we were going to state last year, she fell in a river. We were riding up on the elevator, and she got her head stuck.
It was a long day, and I was really tired, and I was just going to lean up against it, and my hair got caught.
There's not another Amanda in the world. If there was, we'd be in big trouble.
Coach, Mandy, congratulations on behalf of everybody at Channel 4. You're our Player of the Week. Shiprock's Mike Howe isn't just spending a leisurely afternoon. He's actually prepping for the next time he competes for the University of New Mexico. Problem is, nobody knows it.
If I'm wearing my jacket, they say New Mexico Bowling. I didn't know UNM had a bowling team.
They don't. Well, actually they do. Sort of. Thanks to former pro Gary Skidmore, UNM has had a club team the last 4.5 years. They're not under official university charter, so they get Zippo funding. Not a dime from the Lobo Club, zilch and publicity too. Rich Seville came down from Alaska to look over the school, even got overtures from the football team. Deep inside, this was his game.
They didn't tell me there was anything about a bowling program here, so my dad did a few phone calls for me, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe nobody told me.
If there's a silver lining in this team's unofficial status, how about this? Nobody's ever been cut.
As long as a student is a full-time student carrying 12 hours at the University of Mexico, that student is eligible to be a member of this club. So we have never turned anybody away.
This team ranked as high as 15th in the National Coaches Poll a season ago. Not bad for a crew well-versed in car washing, candy bar sales, and strike-a-thons to keep their sport out of the gutter. Paul Davis, News 4 Albuquerque. You haven't lived until you've watched a group like this put on the cleats and get after it. It's another practice for the 5, 6, and 7-year-old Blue Stars. While moms take care of family business on the sidelines, the little sweethearts learn the basics. Let's face it, moms and daughters are no longer doing the cooking, sewing, and the doll thing together anymore. They've moved outside to the get sweaty stuff. In this case, soccer. Susan Fisher is a head coach, never played a lick in her life. A shortage of volunteers forced her into duty. Husband and daughter pitched the idea too.
Yeah, I've been begging her to be the coach for always, and she didn't really want it.
I didn't get to decide. It was kind of, they asked me to be it and begged.
She's not complaining, been a blast so far, but had to lay down some rules early on.
She's got to treat me like coach, and I have to treat her as one of my players.
If she's a great coach, then all of her kids get the same treatment as Pamela did last weekend when she scored a goal.
She was yelling a lot.
Your mom was yelling a lot?
Well, she's like, "Wow, Pam, you scored!" And I'm like, "What?"
We're very close anyway, but she likes it that I'm the coach. She thinks it's neat that her mom's the coach.
Do you think it's made you two like each other better?
Yeah, it has. It has. For always.
Paul Davis wishing I had a daughter. News 4 Albuquerque. At first glance, you'd think something big was going down at Manzano High School. No worry. Just another in a series of practices for the Blue Heat. The Albuquerque Police Department's football squad all set to battle the Metro All-Stars this weekend. Say it. Go! They're taking New Mexico's first ever Police Against Police Gridiron Super Bowl serious. Blue Heat went so far as hiring former El Dorado guru Jerry Hall.
You know what? They've got a lot to prove. Most of them have sons and grandsons and stuff like that. They got to prove a lot too. So they're out here working real hard to prove to their grandkids that they can really play the game.
Coach admits he'll keep things simple, even though he's got a couple of former pros, an ex-Lobo signal caller in Steve Warfield, and an officer who came through last year's Gulf War unscathed. You survived Desert Storm. What about this?
Oh, like I said, I'll let you know November 9th. It's going to be tough.
You can't guess it, okay? I mean, if you're going, it won't. No. Right, you got dive. Pull up. You just got to blow through it.
The APD guys tell me they've been getting the kinks out for almost 3 months now. I'm starting to appreciate this rivalry.
You know, everybody knows APD is the city cops, and they only think of the sheriff's department as some little department, but they're a good team. They better not even show up.
Emser, that's bulletin board material right there, sir.
That's right. It's a challenge. It's for bragging rights in Albuquerque.
Our Paul Davis was acting kind of strange around the TV station today. Is it me, or was he continuously humming the Olympic theme song? Paulie?
Hey, you guys, I'm in a festive Olympic mood, if you will, for good reason. The 92 tour of Olympic and World Gymnastics champions storms the pit tonight. People like Shannon Miller. She took 5 medals in Spain. How about the unified teams? Vitaly Sherbo. He won 6 golds in Barcelona. And of course, how can we forget the man, Trent Demas. Trent, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and talk to us. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm ready to go tonight.
You gotta be wore out. This is your 30th city, your 30th stop on this tour?
Yeah, it's the last stop, but I've been gearing myself up for this instead of coming down. I'm pretty nervous tonight in front of the home crowd, and I've just been, doing my routines the best so that this can be my Olympic performance here tonight in the pit.
Must be nice to know that you can come out, do a routine, and enjoy it, and not have to worry about the judges holding up scorecards.
Well, they might not be holding up scorecards, but there's going to be about 5,000 people here that are, so...
We'll talk about the adrenaline rush now. You've told me earlier, lots of family here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of my family here, family and friends, and I think it's going to be pretty intense for me, so I'm just going to get out there and try to have some fun if I'm not too nervous.
You've seen the show many, many times. Tell the folks who haven't decided to come yet what they're going to miss if they don't come.
Well, it's definitely not a competition. It is a show. We've got acro gymnastics. You're going to see the routines. For the people who weren't in Barcelona with us, you're going to see the routines that we competed in Barcelona, along with, we've got all kinds of world and Olympic champions here, and it's the best gymnastics that you'll probably ever see in your lifetime.
All right, well, knock 'em dead tonight, as they say in the business. Stick it, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trent Demas, he took a gold medal at the Olympics. All starts at 7:30. We'll have highlights for you tonight at 10 here on News 4. Greg, Emil?
All right, thanks, Paulie.
Looks like he's going to have fun out there.
When news happens, turn to New Mexico's largest radio news team on the big one, 770 KOB.
We need to tie up some loose ends before we go.
It's our Wednesday commitment to children, and Paul Davis is back with us for that.
This kid stole my heart, he really did. I need to be honest and tell you that when I first got the paperwork on this week's Wednesday's Child, I was pretty mad. But the smile and love of a little boy took all that away. Antonio, say hi, New Mexico.
Hi.
That's hi. Hi. How can you not be angry after hearing the sad details of little Antonio's first few years here on Earth? He's about 4 years old. Not quite sure on his exact age. He was smuggled into the USA from Mexico. And those who did that also abused him severely, to the point where brain damage has left his right leg and arm semi-paralyzed. Antonio is developmentally delayed and partially blind in the right eye. What's truly amazing is his disposition, in spite of what he's been through. A major discovery. Antonio is immune to tickling.
Come on, I'm giving you my best tickle and you're not even moving.
Antonio would be best suited for an Hispanic, Native American, or biracial family with one parent at home who is energetic, flexible, and accepting. Financial assistance is available to cover the cost of his long-term care and therapy.
Here we go!
If you need to know just a little bit more about Antonio, call the Rocky Mountain Adoption Exchange at 1-800-888-6966. It'll be worth your while.
Boy, Paul, you barely fit down that slide there. It's awful tight.
Yeah, I'm getting a little heavy.
What a sweet boy.
It really was.
Really nice.
That is the news for now.
Thanks for joining us.
I wonder if these fans had any idea who they were watching, besides the typical Sunday morning crew. You see this guy? Most of you know him by the weekly fishing and outdoor reports he's been providing the Albuquerque Journal for 10.5 years now. Bill Dyroff. It's a no-brainer. He loves his work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I smile when I tell people I have to go fishing this weekend.
His weekends are also filled with hockey shoot-arounds and games. Dyroff played 2 seasons at Colgate, then kept it up through 26 proud years in the Marines. Helped start what they call the Duke City 30-30 Fun League 19 years ago. No deliberate checking or slap shots mean he's still playing at 70.
This has become a lifetime sport.
It's a better game, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful this way. Wonderful. It's tremendous exercise. Geez, there's still a lot of bumps, but that happens. There's no way to eliminate contact from a game like hockey.
When was the last time you got punched?
I got punched. Paul, come on.
Dyroff intends on plugging away at the paper and enjoying hockey for a long time to come. If it were his last day on the planet, which would he opt for? Fishing or ice time?
I'd probably try to squeeze both in.
Paul Davis, News 4 Albuquerque. All right, people, listen up. There's really no excuse anymore not to join your friends on the slopes. Year in and year out, ski manufacturing think tanks come up with new gimmicks that make even the average Joe Blow look like Jean-Claude Killy. For instance, Marker has come out with the M1SC bindings, selective control. You can actually choose 3 different settings for soft, packed powder, or hard snow icy conditions.
What the binding does is it allows you to vary the flex of the ski directly underneath your foot depending upon snow condition by changing a switch on the binding.
Expect to pay about $335. Not to be outdone, Dynastar is pushing Cross Comp skis, a revolutionary design.
The ski core has been offset toward the inside of the ski to allow you to make a more effortless turn. With an offset core, it also allows the ski to be more forgiving so you don't have the sensation of catching an edge if you get on an outside edge.
They're not cheap either, between $400 and $500. Heated ski boots have been around for years, but Hottronics has a model out where it's actually an insert that can be used with the boots you already own. And you're not spending more money once the battery goes out.
With this, when the battery finally wears out, you buy a new battery and you're off and running again.
There's no reason to freeze to death on the mountain anymore. You see this suit? It's made of solar alpha. Stores infrared rays from the sun. Can keep things mighty toasty. Also cost you a pretty penny. $770. Paul Davis, News 4, Albuquerque.
State's narrow win over Eastern last night was enough to make any Aggie feel like pulling his hair out. That's if they had any hair. Seems that some of the Aggies were in Alaska with nothing to do and decided to shave their heads. Guess moose hunting was out of the question.
It's going to get cold outside. I'm preparing myself for this. You want to see it?
The idea was to show a little team unity. So team leader Sam Crawford stumbled across this idea. Then, after watching the blade do its damage on his teammates, he almost backed out.
Yeah, Big Tracy sat on me. And he just lined it out. No, they didn't hold me down. We all did it freely. And it's been fun. It's been great, the little attention that we've gotten.
Some of the guys obviously more interested in their dues, so they didn't.
I couldn't have my mom look at me on Thanksgiving with a bald head.